It's a beautiful morning here at training camp, a beautiful morning to talk some football with offensive line coach Justin Frye. I'm Danny Surratt. Coach, you're going to be a natural in your first one-on-one interview given your broadcasting degree, right?
That's right, yeah.
Got a little experience?
Yeah, I knew I was going to be involved in football, so I wanted to do something I could have fun with, kind of keep me around the game, so.
Great, then we'll have a little fun this morning. Early on in the spring, you said you want your unit to have physicality and violence that is tangible. What progress has the offensive line made in that area?
We're just working on it daily, whether it be a drill, going against our D-line, the guys we're going against on the daily in practice. That becomes habitual like anything else. And so as long as you keep it in the forefront of their minds and training it and working it on the daily, which we've been doing, excited to see how far we can keep going.
There's a lot of consistency on the offensive side of the ball. This was an offense who was 11th ranked last season, second most yards per carry. How do you walk the line of building upon that success while doing the job you were hired to do?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that as I came in. Like you look at that line and the stats and everything that the guys had, and how can we gain one more yard per game? How can you gain one less sack per game? And so showing the tape of those guys, like, here's what we did well, how can we do it really well? You know, as JG says, like, we know it, how do we really know it so that we can keep improving on that? And so that's all the guys want to do anyway. Like, everybody wants to keep getting better, you know? And if they're not good at something, then they want to fix it. So if you go with the approach of that, with them saying, you know, here's how we're going to make this better, then they're going to latch on to that.
When you talk about getting one more yard, that's running back James Conner. When you've got a dynamic threat like him, as well as quarterback Kyler Murray in the backfield, what do you pick their brains about for what they're seeing and what they're liking?
I think at this level, it's mostly comfort for those guys. So not so much exactly what they see, but like, what do they feel good about or what do they like? You know, when it's, you got to have it, what do they really want to lean back on that they have? And so it's more asking questions of those guys. What do you see from us? What did you feel? What was the look? And then just trying to paint that picture for them so that they can play at a high level all the time.
You've been coaching for 18 years. This is your first year in the pros. You have extensive experience with player development. Tackle Paris Johnson Jr. has already praised your open-mindedness with players and how instantaneously what they are working on in drills translates into the teamwork. What attributes have you carried over from college into the pros?
I think just the fact that every player wants to be the best version of themselves. And that sounds very cliche, but it's just the truth. And with each player, you have to know their skill sets and see their skill sets. So like during OTAs, that was a good time for me to see what guys really did well or what they could work on. And then having kind of an individual plan. So everything can't be so cookie cutter, where you have a veteran guy, where you've got Yelda, or you've got Evan and these guys, or Kelvin Beach that played a lot of ball. They're gonna wanna do some different things or need to do some different things than maybe a younger guy needs to do, developing. You know, and Paris in that mix. So just having a really good individualized eyes to have a good plan for each guy so that they can all ultimately get better, because that's what they're still all trying to do.
You have a lot of competition in your position room. What's it going to take for an offensive lineman to earn a spot on this roster?
You just got to show up every day and be consistent, right? I mean, mistake-free, number one. And then back to how we started talking, it's like there's got to be that attitude and aura of playing physical and playing violent. And so if you keep putting that on tape and you consistently do that, then that's good individually, it's good for the unit, and it's good for the offense.
Versatility is a key word when talking about an offensive line. When do you make the decision to have a player hone in on a specific position or side as opposed to working around the line?
Yeah, it goes back to the individual. How much can you put on a guy's plate? You know, with younger guys, you probably want to start them more honed in on one thing. And then as that picture becomes more cleaner and clearer for them, then you start adding a little bit more to their plate. So that just, with the individual kid as he gets going, how much can he do, how much can he take, and then how much can he show you, really? Because you don't want to thin them out too much or water it down to where now their head's spinning and they're not getting out of it what they know they can put in.
You are new to Arizona, although a lot of familiar faces. Paris Johnson Jr., Josh Fryer, John Gaines, all players you coached in college. It's full circle for all of you now.
Yeah, that's exciting too. I mean, you know, the professional part of it and the business aspect is really cool, because that's what they all wanted to do and dreamed to do and work to do, and they do it. And then, as I've said many times in my career, like, just as a coach, to be a small little part of helping a young guy achieve those is really awesome. And then now being around those guys again on the day-to-day, like, to continue the growth that we had prior, it's fun.
Rookie Hayden Connor let the media in on your golden rule, which is don't be an a-hole. Any other words of wisdom you are instilling upon your offensive linemen?
No, I mean, that goes back to high school days. My dad was a high school coach, and I stole that from him. You know, a lot of teams have rule sheets and do this, do that, and sign. And at the end of the day, it's like, if you know right from wrong, you know what you're supposed to do and not supposed to do, then just don't be one.
Hey, just don't be one, Cardinals fans. It's really that easy. Coach, appreciate the time. For Justin Frye, I'm Danny Streck. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay locked in for training camp coverage on azcardinals.com.